The movie begins in Rocky Hills, Colorado, where a girl is talking on a phone booth, mentioning some 7 numbers. But then she suddenly ends the call and walks away. Scene shifts. In a school, a boy is beating another boy badly, while all the students are watching. His sister Gwen arrives and shouts, "Finn! Stop!" Finn leaves the boy and walks away with his sister. Gwen asks why he beat him. Finn says he was making fun of him, so he had to. They're walking when a boy named Ernie arrives in his car and asks Gwen if she wants to go with him. He is going to buy Duran Duran tickets tonight. Gwen agrees, and Ernie says, "See you later," and drives away. That night, Gwen has a strange and terrifying dream in which someone kills a boy. The same injured boy writes a W on the ice before disappearing beneath it. Gwen then wakes up and finds herself standing at the door. Finn wakes her up, telling her she was sleepwalking. Gwen tells him she saw a very bad dream, but Finn tells her to ignore it and go back to sleep. The next morning, Ernie comes to her and shows 2 Duran Duran tickets, and Gwen gets excited. Scene shifts. Finn comes out of a store, and a public phone next to him suddenly starts ringing. He picks it up and says, "Sorry, I can't help you," and hangs up, even though the phone is marked out of service. Scene shifts again. That night, Gwen has another horrible dream. Someone brutally kills a boy and burns his body. The same boy then writes the letter B next to the W that was already written on the ice. Gwen wakes up again and walks outside, sleepwalking. She reaches an abandoned building and enters through a window into the basement. Inside, an old phone on the wall starts ringing. Gwen receives it. Some girl on the phone tells her she also gets these dreams and says she's from Alpine Lake Youth Camp, Colorado. Gwen starts telling her about herself, but the voice suddenly cuts off. Gwen hangs up and turns around. An unknown man is standing right in front of her. He tells her, "You shouldn't have come here." Suddenly, someone comes down the stairs. But at that exact moment, Finn shakes Gwen awake. Gwen was sleepwalking again. The phone she saw is broken, and the building is completely abandoned. Confused, she tells Finn she talked to their mom. Finn insists she only had a dream. The next morning, Gwen shows Finn a pamphlet of Alpine Lake Youth Camp and tells him that Mom wanted them to go there. She says Finn can get a job there as a counselor. Finn refuses. Their dad arrives at that moment, notices the pamphlet, and is shocked. He asks how they found out about the camp and reveals that their mother used to work there. Finn is shocked to hear this from his father. Later, Ernie arrives in his car to pick up Gwen. Finn and Dad stand at the door to say bye. But suddenly Finn stops them, goes inside, packs his bag, and decides to go with them. On the way, heavy snowfall makes everything pitch dark. Ernie can't see the road. Finn tells him to stop and follow him from behind. Then he runs ahead of the car. Suddenly someone on a horse with a torch appears in front of them and guides them all the way to the camp. A man named Armando greets them and tells them no children came because of the extreme snowstorm. He takes Finn and Ernie to the male cabin and sends Gwen to the girls' cabin with a girl named Mustang. Later at night, Finn goes outside to smoke. Meanwhile, Gwen has another nightmare in which a boy writes H after WB on the ice before his face splits in two, as if he was murdered in the same way. Gwen wakes up, but she is still inside the dream. Outside, Finn sees a telephone booth, and suddenly, the phone rings. He goes inside the booth and picks it up. Inside the cabin, Gwen sees a dead boy's body under her bed. The body crawls toward her. Finn hears a voice on the phone saying, "Hello, Finney." He panics, hangs up, and tries to get out, but the booth door locks. The phone starts ringing so loudly, and Finn covers his ears. Inside, Gwen steps back from a dead body, but suddenly another one appears on the bed and grabs her hands. Gwen pulls her hands free and stumbles back. Both boys start walking toward her, and then another boy suddenly appears at the window. Finn hears the voice say from the phone, "Hell is not flames, Finney, it's ice." Inside the cabin, the boy who came to the window starts to lean his face inside, but someone suddenly slams the window shut from behind. The window cuts off half of his face, which falls to the floor, and Gwen screams. Finn hangs up the phone, hears Gwen screaming, and runs to her cabin. Gwen is standing by the window, sleepwalking again. He shakes her awake. Gwen cries, and Finn comforts her, telling her it was just a dream. Finn brings Gwen to his cabin. Gwen hides the marks on her hand. The marks left by the dead boy who grabbed her in the dream. She sits beside Ernie. Ernie asks if she's okay. Gwen tells him she had a terrible nightmare. Ernie comforts her, tells her to lie beside him, and talks gently to calm her. Ernie tells Gwen she's beautiful. They're about to kiss when Finn interrupts. "Ernie, do you think I'm beautiful too?" Gwen gets irritated and asks Finn if he was listening to everything. Then she tells him to just sleep. The next morning, the three of them walk out of the cabin. Gwen tells Finn she told Ernie everything, that's why Ernie came to help. Finn says, "I didn't tell anyone." "Why did you?" Gwen says to Finn. "I tried to tell you many times, but you didn't listen." Then she opens her hand and shows the marks on her wrist, the marks left by the dead boy in her dream. Finn and Ernie are shocked. At that moment, Armando calls them for breakfast. They sit together. Armando warns Gwen. He saw her in the boys' cabin and tells her not to do that again. Otherwise his license could be cancelled. A girl puts bread on the table. Armando tells them she's his niece, Mustang. Armando then asks why they all came to this camp. They say they came to be counselors. Armando replies, "You've never been to this camp before, and you're not from any church either. Tell me the truth. Why are you actually here?" Finn and Gwen show him their mother's photo and tell him she used to be a counselor here. Armando looks at the photo and says, "We used to call her Starlight." He asks where she is now. Finn and Gwen tell him she died. They say she committed suicide. Armando apologizes and then tells them to call their families using the office phone. Finn asks about the phone booth outside. Armando tells him it has been dead for a long time. After Armando leaves, Finn tells Gwen and Ernie about last night and about the phone. Just then, the booth phone rings again. Only Finn hears it. Finn sends Gwen and Ernie to the office to call home. While he goes toward the booth, this time it's several children's voices whispering to Finn. "Finn, we shouldn't be here. Find us. Finn, please." Outside the booth, injured children appear, but Finn can't see them. Meanwhile, Gwen and Ernie arrive at the office. Gwen calls her dad and tells him she's safe. Ernie calls home too. Gwen then asks a couple working there if there's any book about the camp's history. They refuse. Ernie asks if any children were ever murdered here. The couple becomes uncomfortable and says, "We don't talk about that," and asks them to leave. Night falls again. Gwen is sleeping and sees another dream. This time she follows a boy. On other side, Finn hears the phone ringing again. He wakes Ernie and the two go outside. Finn tells Ernie to go check on Gwen. Ernie heads to the girls' cabin. Finn goes into the booth and picks up the phone, and this time the grabber is on the call. Finn tells him that he is not afraid of him, and they show the grabber standing near Finn, but Finn cannot see him. Inside the girls' cabin, Ernie discovers Gwen is missing. The back door is open, so he runs outside calling her name. Mustang and the office couple wake up and start searching with him. Gwen, in her dream, follows the boy all the way into the camp's kitchen. Suddenly the grabber appears and attacks her. People outside hear the loud noises and rush in. They see Gwen lifted into the air and thrown hard against a metal gate. Everyone panics. Finn hears Gwen scream and runs toward the camp's kitchen. The grabber picks Gwen up, ready to throw her into a furnace. At the last moment, Ernie grabs her legs from behind and holds on. He shouts for others to help. Mustang grabs Gwen too. The grabber throws utensils at the couple, stopping them from helping Gwen. Finn rushes in and sees Gwen floating in midair, Ernie and Mustang holding her legs. Grabber leaves Gwen and disappears into the darkness. Finn calls Gwen loudly and shakes her. Gwen wakes up and comes out of the dream. Scene shifts and everyone is sitting in a church where Armando asks Gwen and Finn everything in detail. Then Armando brings an old picture and shows them. Finn recognizes Grabber in the photo. Armando tells them, "This is Bill. We used to call him Wild Bill Hickok." Gwen says WBH means Wild Bill Hickok, and that at the same time he killed those boys and started all this. Armando asks Gwen whether she saw those boys, and where their bodies can be. Gwen says their bodies are somewhere in a frozen lake. Armando thinks and says, it must be Lake Maru. Scene shifts. Next morning, everyone goes to Lake Maru, and removes snow from the lake. This continues the whole day. Night falls. Finn comforts Gwen, and tells her to sleep. He and Ernie will take care of her. Gwen again dreams. This time she sees a boy delivering newspapers. And someone kidnaps him into a van, and that person is actually the grabber, Wild Bill. Then they show Gwen's mom who is sleeping, but suddenly wakes up saying, "Wild Bill," as if she also saw a bad dream like Gwen. After that she goes near a building and looks in the basement through a window where a boy's dead body is lying. She gets scared after seeing this and quickly runs toward her car, and at that moment the grabber catches her and puts her inside his van. Gwen screams but no one hears her voice, and then the grabber calls Gwen inside the same van, and Gwen goes in. The grabber says, I am showing you kindness by showing you the truth before I do what I have to. After Gwen comes out of the van, she sees her mom hanging with a rope, and Gwen screams and says that this means Mom did not commit suicide. You were the one who killed her. Then the grabber takes an axe in his hand and comes toward Gwen to kill her. Gwen runs into the house and enters a basement where there is a phone on the wall, and the phone rings. Someone on phone tells her, hide. Gwen hides inside a toilet next to the basement and comes out from the passage, but the door there closes, and then the grabber hits her hand with the axe. In real life, Gwen's hand starts bleeding, and Ernie, who is sitting near her, gets scared and ties a cloth around her hand and calls everyone. Then in the dream, an injured boy opens the door, and Gwen runs outside and reaches Lake Maru, where she sees Armando searching for the boys' bodies, and Armando finds a boy's body. Then a booth appears there, and the phone starts ringing. Gwen receives the phone call, and the grabber is on the call. Then the grabber appears behind Armando, and hits the floor behind Armando with the axe, and the floor breaks, and Armando falls into the water. Gwen is watching all this, but the booth door closes, and she cannot come out. Armando tries to come up again, but the grabber pushes him down with his leg. After that, the grabber goes toward Gwen and wraps the phone wire around her neck and attacks her. And in real life, Gwen's body flies up into the air and falls on the ground. Finn, Ernie, and Mustang see this and are shocked. Finn tells Gwen, you will have to fight, Gwen, and these voices from the phone are heard by Gwen inside the dream. Then something very strange happens. The whole booth breaks from above, and the grabber flies away and falls on the floor far away. Gwen tells the grabber, now I understand. I did not come here because you brought me. I came here myself. We will meet again. And Gwen comes back to consciousness. As soon as she wakes up, Gwen takes everyone to Armando, and they reach there on time and save Armando. After some time, Gwen and Finn are outside, and a snowplow arrives there and stops. Their dad comes out of it, and after seeing them, he becomes happy and says, come on, let's get out of here. Finn says, come on, Gwen, let's leave from here. Gwen refuses and says that their work is not finished yet. Finn says, no, we should leave from here to save our lives. Gwen gets angry and scolds her brother a lot. She tells him that he is ruining his life in smoking and running away from his fears. After that, she tells her dad and brother that Mom did not commit suicide. Wild Bill, the grabber, killed her. They are shocked to hear this. Scene shifts. Everyone is again searching for the bodies, but they do not find anything. Gwen gets tired, sits near Mustang, and falls asleep. And again she reaches her dream. And suddenly, the grabber comes skating there. Gwen quickly runs and jumps into the lake water. The grabber drags one of the camp staff officers with him and throws him away and injures both staff officers. Inside the water, Gwen finds the remaining two boys' bodies and pushes them upward toward the top. Above the ice, the grabber attacks Finn and chokes his neck with a belt. Finn tells Ernie to take Gwen away from there, and Ernie leaves with her. Their dad jumps into the lake from the hole and pulls out a body. Armando and Mustang help him. Finn somehow manages to kick the grabber away from him and saves himself. Gwen comes out from the lake water, and the grabber comes toward Gwen. But then one dead body catches him from inside the ice. He escapes and moves forward again, but another dead body grabs him again. Gwen picks up the grabber's own axe and hits him on the head. Finn arrives and follows the dead boy's hand to locate the grabber's leg, and even though he cannot see him, he grabs his head and hits it many times on the floor. After that, they drag the grabber's body and throw it into the water, and inside the lake, the dead boys do not let him come out again. And in this way, all three boys' dead bodies are found, and the grabber meets his end. Gwen wakes up and sees she is sitting near Ernie, and she kisses him. Scene shifts. Gwen and Finn are walking past the booth, and the phone rings again, but this time, only Gwen can hear it. She answers the call, and this time it is her mom on the line, so they start talking to each other. Gwen becomes emotional and starts crying. After that, Gwen and Finn sit in the car with her dad, and they leave from there. And the movie ends. Guys, personally this movie did not seem that special to me. Graphics and actors are good, but the story is not that good. And the worst part is that no one is killed in this horror movie. The grabber was hitting them but didn't kill anyone. Kind of funny. Tell me how you liked this movie in the comments, and subscribe to our channel Story Crax. We will return soon with a new story.